October 22nd, 2024, 6 o'clock p.m. meeting. We're going to call this meeting to order. Please silence all cell phones and other electronic devices. Mr. Blue, if you'll give us a pledge of invocation, we'll stand for invocation and then stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Bow your heads, please. If you will join me, our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll get right into it. If I can get someone to make a motion. Any amendments to the
We do.
agenda?
We do.
Okay.
Chairman, under minutes, we need to add number 1, minutes for the October 7th, 2024 regular meeting at 6 p.m. We also need to add number 2.
What date was that?
October 7th,
Yeah.
2024 regular meeting at 6. And then we also need to add number 2, minutes for the October 14th, 2024 special called meeting at 6. Under new business, we need to add number 1, will be a new number 1, which will move everything down. Designation of custodian of elections records
That's going to be number 1.
under new business. Yes, sir. And then number 15, Hidden Meadows subdivision bond.
So you're saying number 1's going to be the one and everything else is going to
It
bump
will
down?
renumber down, yes, and then we'll have a number 15.
I said number 1 was what now?
Designation of custodian of elections records.
And then number 15.
Hidden Meadows subdivision bond.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Anything else?
No, sir.
Why does the board have something needs to be added to it?
Mr. Chair, you made mention of moving executive session up, so you'll want to make that as we're here.
Oh, we can do that
Yeah.
if it needs to be. Yeah, we'll go ahead and move the executive session up to follow after
Presentation.
citizens' comment and presentations. If nothing else, do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
Have a motion, do I have a second? Second. All in favor? Hey, good deal. All right, so first we have is presentations from the Three Rivers Regional Commission, Mr. Frank Butler.
Mark.
Mark Butler.
Mark.
Oh, I don't even know what I said. Sorry about that, Mr. Mark.
That's
I do
okay.
know a Frank Butler, but
Who knows, he might be a cousin.
Might be.
maybe.
Well, my grandfather was one of 13, so
Oh, wow.
there could be a lot of.
We'll get it, my apologies.
Okay, well, I'm going to try to go through this quickly. And this is actually we have about 10 versions of this presentation, and you're getting the short one. There's one of them that can go on for about an hour, hour and a half, it seems like. There's so many slides in it because we do a lot of different things. One of my jobs is to get out and kind of spread the word and let everybody, and remind everybody about Three Rivers, what we bring to our communities in this, in our 10-county region. To that, I guess I'm going to point to you whenever I need to click. All right, just quickly, so to remind people, the Three Rivers Regional Commission is made up of 10 counties. You can see right there, Meriwether is right in the middle, and it's over there with Carroll, Hurd, Coweta, Troop. On the east side, Spalding, Butts, Pike, Lamar, and Upson. Let's go ahead to the next slide. Well, all right, we have 4 different major departments that we have. We have aging, we have a planning department, our transit department, and our workforce department. Total budget's a little over $12.5 million. Some of that you guys do contribute to. It's on a per population, which is actually a small part. Our local funds are roughly a little over $500,000 out of that 12.6 million. Which also is our most flexible dollars. And when we get to the planning department, which is about the middle ways through, you're gonna see that's probably where you're gonna get some of your strongest return for your money. A lot of people don't realize some of the stuff that we do that actually saves a lot of our counties, especially a lot of our smaller cities, a lot of money. Let's go to the next slide. Our biggest division is aging. It's also where we bring in the most money, and also probably we have one of the largest impacts. And to kind of roll everything up into kind of a nutshell of what the aging department does, we're there obviously to help our older citizens, especially those that are economically disadvantaged. But the one thing that I think that they really excel at, and that I'm really proud of, is they help keep our seniors in their homes for as long as possible. Which is very important because it gives them, a better lifestyle, helps them stay happier, helps them live longer, and enjoy their lives when they're getting to stay at home. I was very fortunate. My grandparents got to stay at home. My mother runs rings around all of us in here, so I really can't put her in that. I mean, she's 80 years old, and I wish I had her energy. But here's just a few things. There's 56 programs that are administered through our aging department. And I'm not going to go over all 56, okay? That would take a while. So we work with 15 different senior centers, deliver just shy of 300,000 meals a year. Well, actually, we don't deliver, but we help those meals get delivered through the funding mechanisms or actual bringing the product to the different senior centers. But our senior centers, that's hard to say, are one of our biggest partners when it comes to connecting with our seniors in our communities and getting out service to them. Adult daycare, caregiver support, dementia awareness, which I'm going to highlight that in just a second, which has become a very big thing because that touches a lot of people. Obviously meals, transportation, which is also one of our departments. Aging and transportation work together on a lot of things. And also Medicare and Medicaid support for our seniors. A lot of people don't know this. People say, "Oh, if you're over 65, all you get is Medicare." No, there are cases where you can also have Medicaid also. And we have found, there's a lot of lack of awareness of that can really help some of our seniors who are economically disadvantaged, who are struggling with their medications or different types of services. Getting them hooked in there can really help them financially and get the services that they need. We have specialists that are wizards at helping them navigate that, which is very hard. It's hard for me to get through some of that stuff right there. And I worked in government for over 20 years. But I would have to get a little help to get through some of that, I can tell you that. And then obviously supportive services. Next slide. This is a really quick slide right here, and it kind of shows you 3 different areas, obviously not all 56, where we help our seniors and how many contacts that we have in those different areas, whether it's calls for services, by counties, our insurance calls, so that's what I was just talking about a while ago, people needing help with the Medicare, Medicaid. Or the meals. And we looked at Meriwether. You had calls for service. We had over 350 calls for services, over almost 13,000 meals. And then for the insurance help, we had a little over 2,400 calls to help with Medicaid, Medicare. And so that's that can have a big impact. Next slide. All right, this right here, we talk about programs, and I always tell them, so give me, we have to have real stories, some life stories so we can understand how it kind of connects. And here's 2 right here real quick that I'm going to kind of go over right here. This couple right here, that's an actual couple. This is from Three Rivers. That's not, from some, photo bank or whatever. That's a couple that are aging Department of Health, Tess and Frank. They actually went through some hard times, got in bad health. They both ended up having to go into a nursing home. Unfortunately, it was 2 separate nursing homes. We helped get them back together into the same nursing home. But even better than that, through our programs and different assistance that we provided them, we actually got them out of the nursing home and back into a home together. Which they're obviously, you can see that picture. They're kind of a hoot. They're very happy. Definitely happy to be together and be back in their new home. And then I was talking a little bit a while ago about the Medicare and Medicaid assistance. There's an example that we didn't have a picture of this lady. She didn't want a picture in there, but she was talking about because of our assistance with the Medicaid, with her Medicare, she was able to stay in her home and she didn't have to go into a nursing facility. And this other lady here, through some of our exercise programs, a lot of people don't realize this. One of the things that actually kind of gets a lot of our seniors out of the homes is they lose, some of their mobility, and a lot of it's because they get afraid because their balance starts to kind of give away. We work with, different providers and also some of our own people through a program this year is called Matters of Balance, where it helps them with exercises to increase their balance and they can stay at home. Next. Some other programs right here, we have our farmers markets. One thing we found out, a lot of our seniors are not getting the proper nutrition and not have access, whether it's through financial means or whatnot. We have these farmer markets around the 10 counties. Almost all the produce comes from Georgia farmers, and so that's good. We work with the ag department on that. It's Georgia grown. Home modifications. Right now we still have some available funds and we have projects along the 10 counties right now. We're actually looking for organizations to help partner with us. We're looking for nonprofit organizations because we work with them that help build them home modifications that we don't have to go through the bid process, and we can get through more of these faster, because y'all know how that goes when you have to put something out to bid and how that can delay something. And these individuals need this stuff sooner rather than later. This one picture here is kind of a really cool example. We had a modification that was really, really needed, but we didn't have enough skilled labor volunteers. We had about 2, which was not enough. So some of our employees took their day off on a Saturday and they volunteered to go help and be helper workers and learned a little bit about making a ramp. And that's all of them right there with the lady that we helped to get a ramp to help her get in and out of her house right there. Dementia tours. Now this is something close to my heart. Both my grandmother and my father suffered from dementia. And this is the dementia tours. What that's about is we work with different organizations or our first responders to help them understand our seniors who are dealing with dementia and what they're going through, to give them a better understanding, or you might want to call it empathy, so that way when they're talking to these people or they're dealing with them in certain situations, they have a little bit better understanding of what that individual, how they're perceiving the world and what they're going through. And I tell you what, we have gotten rave reviews, especially from some of our law enforcement first responders, because they were like, I had no idea that this is kind of how they were seeing me and how they were feeling things and that kind of stuff. And that gives me a little bit better idea how to talk to them, how to deal with them. And so, and we've had a lot of those. We're continuously scheduling more and more of those. It's become a very popular program. Whoop, go the other way. This is just a picture of some of our events about, where we get our seniors together with their neighbors. We have big events. I've been to a few of these myself. They have a big time. Sometimes some of these individuals, first time they get to see some of their friends in a while, where we have a meal, but also we bring in different speakers that are experts to help our seniors to understand some different things, like maybe changes in government programs, other kind of stuff, or availability of things that they may not know about that we don't provide, but other providers do. Go to the next one. And this one here really quickly, we actually, our Asian department was actually given a national award for a voucher program that we actually came up with, and we were recognized nationally on it. So that was really good that our folks were thinking out of the box to come up with ways to help our seniors. All right, planning department. This is one that really has the biggest impact on our county and local governments. As we all know, the state government, the feds and whomever, they always like to come up with all these ideas for you guys to always have to come up with all these different reports and all these different things you have to do and you're required to do them. And some of our smaller cities don't have the resources to do that. We step in there, we provide those. Also with other things, we'll go ahead and go to the next slide. These are just some of the different things that our planning department helps with. It can be anything from broadband, hazard mitigation, regional planning, review of developments of regional impacts. I know y'all probably have heard that term thrown around 1,000 times. Matter of fact, I probably get more phone calls on that than anything else. Everybody's wanting to know how theirs is coming along and how that DRI, because where's my DRI? Where's it at in the queue? Everybody wants theirs done quick. Transportation, transit planning, all these different things is what they help with. Go to the next. And so when you take a look at this small department, there's actually the smallest part of our budget. It's not even $300,000 of our budget. Last year, just on the plans that are required by our cities out there, we helped with 22 of them and did those for them. Those plans can range in price in the private sector anywhere from $25,000 to $45,000 to have done. And if you use the smallest number there, the 25,000, that's over $500,000 returned to our cities and our counties through this one program right there with that small investment that we were able to save right there, because we do those at no charge. And that's not even including some of the other reviews and things that we do. That's just one little thing that they do. So you know that you're getting your money's worth when you do make, when you do put your money in the Three Rivers. Our planning department is making sure that you guys get that back through services through there. But obviously you're getting it back through our other divisions too. But this one here has probably got the biggest, return on investment of all of ours when we talk about what little money that goes into that department. Now, we've been trying to get the state to increase our funding, which has not been increased in over 20 years. Obviously, things have changed a lot in 20 years. A lot of things have gone up in price, and it's hard to hold on to talent at those kind of budgets. So, but we're working on that. Next. Transportation. Transportation is something that's been quite the challenge for the last year or so, because before then, we had contracted that service out through a private company, and they were running it, and we just kind of oversaw the contract. When I came on board about 1.5 years ago, the staff had convinced me to take a look at bringing that in-house, because they didn't feel like we had enough control on customer service with it, and we weren't getting what we wanted to get out of that. And of course, I warned them, those 3 people that talked to me into that it was going to be a big lift, taking on and doing transportation ourselves. And now there's only 1 of the 3 left. The other 2 abandoned me. And so anyway, we brought that in-house. It's been a little bit of a challenge, but it's we're starting to see it take off. It's been kind of a slow go. A lot of the buses that we got back were not in good condition. All the money that we thought was going toward maintenance apparently was not. And we're working with DOT in different matters, getting grant and things like that to replace these buses, get new buses. Matter of fact, we just got 6 new buses last year, and we're expecting 9 more whenever they get in the queue. So we're getting these things refreshed as quickly as possible. Let's go to the next slide. And you say, well, what kind of, what do you guys do with the transportation program? Well, right now, we at Three Rivers, we manage 7 of the 10 counties, Meriwether being one of those. And matter of fact, we'll take a look at Meriwether's numbers. You took about your trips. You got your Department of Human Services trips. We did almost 3,500 trips in this county alone through DHS. And then also you got your public trips, which your total trips are just shy of 7,000 trips. When I say public trips, there's a difference. Like the public can use these buses anytime they want to. All they do is, got to call within 24 hours to make an appointment. It's very, very, very low cost. It would be free, but DOT wants us to charge something for some reason. Don't know why. And so we keep it around about $2 or $3 depending. And so we have a lot of different types of people use it. Obviously, you got people who use them to get to the doctor or our DHS trips, like that says. And then you have the general public who may use it to go to the grocery store, or they may go to Walmart, may go to Home Depot. Matter of fact, I've seen them at home, bringing a person who is wheelchair bound to Home Depot so they can get stuff to do with something at their house. So, I mean, just anything. Go to the next slide. Right here it just kind of says, like I would just I guess I should have clicked this earlier, because, you've got general public, you got senior adults, people with disabilities, economically disadvantaged, or just some people that just don't drive anymore. We've got different, like this first one here, which says the Rosa story here. That lady right there, Mary, she's been able to have a job for the past 3 years because we take her to work and take her home every day. That's how she gets back home. She does not drive. And then we have this one lady, Mary. That's how she likes to go to the senior center to do bingo. That's the only time she really gets out. We come pick her up and take her there so she can have some time and good times with her friends and get out and be around other people, which is very important, as we all know. And then Jack, he does not drive. He takes our transportation just to go to the grocery store and run errands. And then the last one's kind of my favorite is Louise and Gerald. They these are actual people. This is not stock photos. They use us to go on their lunch date every week in the county they're at. We go pick them up and they take them to the square. They go eat, walk around, do a little window shopping, get them out of the house. And so we're kind of their date ride. So we do all kind of things with transportation. It's a good services. And my goal is to expand transportation. Right now it's on demand. We want to be able to one day I would love to, as soon as we get the right buses in there and get enough drivers in there and get the technology in place, I like it to be run more like an Uber type system to make it a little bit easier. Obviously technology can get in the way with some of our seniors, but I think if we can come up with a mix of that, we can find out a way to make it more accessible and easier to use. So you're saying, well, how much, right now, in Three Rivers region, in those 7 counties, we're averaging about 450 rides daily. And sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. Let's go to the next right there. Workforce is the last one right here. Workforce, we actually do administer the workforce programs for this area. I call the types of programs that we do, the best way to kind of sum it up, a lot of it's kind of the gap, what I call gap help. So we kind of fit in those areas where maybe other agencies don't, or in cases like, for example, we work with a lot of employers on incumbent worker training. That means you may have some workers that, you may be changing technology, you need to train them up for whatever the next thing is. There's on-the-job training, apprenticeships, which obviously we know what those are, the big deal. But we also help people with supportive services, whether it's transportation, like I said a while ago, that's one of the things that we, obviously we have transportation. We help get people to work, childcare, meals, books, uniforms. I got some examples of that. It's probably the best way to show you that. But we also help people with the resume writing and job search and things like that to help them get employed. We also walk in the door on when we have big layoffs. We're one of the first ones they see. And our job is to get them from layoff to another job as quickly as possible. Through the next slide. Here's an example of the type of services in a real life example. This lady here was a single mom. She underemployed. She was wanting to increase her skills, get a better job, provide for her family. She was referred to us by Columbus Technical College, and we helped provide her with assistance with childcare, tuition, books, her fees. And she ended up with our assistance and obviously a lot of hard work on her part. She graduated this past June, and now she is a dental hygienist and doing quite well. But those are the types of things that we do. We kind of fill in the gaps. The next slide. I don't know if y'all remember this. The news, back when HelloFresh in Noonan closed down, it was over 700 people that lost their jobs. We stepped in there to help place a lot of those individuals with different types of services, and then we also worked with some other employers in the area who want to take on some of these that have been laid off, but maybe the skills were mismatched, and we got them hooked up with some programs with on-the-job training. And right there is an example right there. This lady right here, Mahogany Carter, she was one of the ones laid off from HelloFresh, and we got her into a program over at U.S. Beverage. Very happy. She got on-the-job training and got right back into a new job, so she didn't stay unemployed very long. Next job. So anyway, kind of sum things up. The one thing that I'm trying to do is, spread the word to make people understand, what it is that we do, or remind people of what we do, and that we're here, and we're constantly revamping our marketing to get the word out so your citizens know we're there to help them. But understand we're also there to help you with your citizens. I want you to be able to take the information that you have here in front of you. When you get those phone calls, you know who to call to get that assistance, and whether it's me or anybody else. And if there's something we can do to help them, if we don't know, then hopefully we know somebody who does. Because sometimes I know sometimes you get these phone calls and you're like, well, the county doesn't really do that. We don't really have a thing for that. Well, give us a call, lean on us a little bit, and let's see if we can't come up with a solution working with you to help your citizens to lead better lives, more productive lives. But my job is to get out there and engage the public to make sure that we are finding as many partners as possible. Matter of fact, you may be sitting here and you may be thinking while I've been talking, we've got somebody here, locally that does some things kind of similar. I wonder if they work with Three Rivers. Make that connection for us, because we're looking for partners. You can have a much bigger impact if you take and you leverage all the different things at your disposal and you work with as many people in the same area that you're doing. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not looking for any kind of credit. I'm not looking for us to do everything. I'm looking to help as many citizens as possible, using as many partners and as much help as I can get. Because, 12.6 million seems like a lot of money, but now when you spread it out over 500,000 people in 10 counties. And so we're always looking for partners. Any kind of questions?
Is this, if someone does partner, is this a tax deductible type thing or no?
No, it's most of our funding, besides the money that y'all give us every year and all the other counties give us every year, which is, like I said, it's based on population of Three Rivers. And it's $1 per person. And we get the money from the federal government, state government. That's our main primary funding source, where it's DHS, it could be DOT, Department of Community Services. Different areas, different grants is where we get most of the money from. Oh, and Department of Labor.
Any questions? Well, thank you so much. It's very interesting. Things there I wasn't even aware of, but didn't realize, so I thank you.
Well, we have a board meeting, Mr. Chairman, on this Thursday.
And I'll be there at 1 o'clock. I will be there.
All right, yeah, because we need a quorum.
It's on my calendar, I'll be there.
It's
Good to see you again.
All right, and where's that citizen comment?
Pat Williams.
We're gonna go ahead and do citizen comments, and Ms. Pat Williams, you wanna come up?
Yeah.
I have to read this off, unfortunately.
We skipped the
I know
finance
it.
department. We skipped finance department.
We said we was gonna
Okay.
do the citizen's comment, but we can go ahead. I thought you said we'd do that and then go to executive session, then we're gonna come back and do finance and get.
That's fine, whatever.
That's fine.
Yeah, just go ahead and do your.
I know Pat, she's gonna stay for the whole meeting anyhow, so we were
Yes,
just
I
trying to make it convenient in case we get tied up, that's all. Miss Pat, come on forward since I already called you out.
Okay, this is my comment, but it's.
All right, Miss Pat, I'm sorry, I've
Oh,
got.
I'm sorry.
Hold
Go
on.
ahead.
Speakers must contact the county clerk at stevens@meriwethercountyga.gov on or before the dates and times listed below in order to be placed on the agenda to speak. Speakers must provide their name, address, and topic they wish to discuss. For the first Monday of the month, 6:00 p.m. meeting, speakers must email or call before 5 p.m. on the day of the scheduling meeting. For the fourth Tuesday of the month, 6:00 p.m. meeting, speakers must email or call before 5:00 p.m. on the day of the scheduled meeting. Speakers must direct their remarks to the board and not to individual commissioners or to the audience. Personal disagreements with individual commissioners or county employees are not a matter of public concern, and personal attacks will not be tolerated. Speakers will be allotted 3 minutes to speak on their chosen topics as they relate to matters pertinent to the jurisdiction of the Board of Commissioners. No question will be asked by any of the commissioners during citizens' comments. Outbursts from the audience will not be tolerated. Common courtesy, civility are expected at all times during the meeting. No speaker will be permitted to speak more than 3 minutes or more than once unless the board votes to suspend this rule. Now you may go ahead. Thank you.
Do you want me to tell you my name and address?
I sure do.
Okay, I am Pat Williams. I live at 1494 Coleman Creek Circle, Luthersville, Georgia, 30251. Okay, my issue is Coleman Creek Circle. I've lived on Coleman Creek Circle when it was a dirt road. I know how bad dirt roads are. Every meeting, it seems like somebody's got a problem with the road. I've looked back at minutes, October 25th, 2022, 2 years ago. Michelle, whatever, made a statement. She said the DOT had said they found additional funds because they knew Coleman Creek was going to be a detour route, even though it was not a scheduled detour route. And they asked for estimates. Well, the money was moved to Luthersville Road or to another road. This has been an ongoing issue. Our road was torn all to pieces. I believe July 25th of 2023, I believe Brian asked Theron to speak with DOT regarding additional funds because of additional traffic and the condition of the road breaking off. Well, we're now in 2024. They have come, they put something and make patches. When it's currently done, I mean, you can drive the road. Every time we get a big rain, and y'all laugh at me, I don't know anything about road construction. If we get a big rain, it's like it washes it out. And every time a car goes by, we're getting those same gully washers right back in the road. So I'm asking that you revisit DOT or however. I was riding on another little road today that it didn't go from state highway. I don't know who did the road, don't know, but I can tell you. And I said, gosh, this road's just been redone. It had lines painted on each side. We've never had outside lanes to tell where the edge was, you know, in bad weather or at night. And it was Dean Road. I don't know who did that road, but it looks like to me they did an excellent job on it. But I'm asking that you revisit this. It looks like we can pave roads or we can build new roads in industrial parks and airports. So the authorities get better roads than what the citizens that we're here paying taxes year after year after year. And some of us are getting neglected. When they do the patching, like I say, they do good, but it doesn't last. So I'm just here to ask that you revisit this road and maybe it can be on the next agenda. And I thank you.
I thank you for coming. Yes, ma'am. All right, if I can have a motion to go to executive session?
For purposes of
Real
Litigation,
estate,
personnel, and real estate.
Personnel? So I don't know if you have anything with litigation this week.
Yeah. Litigation, personnel, and real estate.
Okay.
second.
All in favor? We're now in executive session at 6:32. Okay. We are back, out of executive session, and, do I have a motion to go back in regular session?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? We're back in regular session at 7:16. Finance report, Mr. John. And no action was taken in executive session.
Mr. Chairman, Board of Commissioners, in front of you had the bank balances as of 3 o'clock today. All the funds are still holding steady. The general fund and investment pool, I moved a little bit of money. I had to pull some back, not realizing insurance premium tax was coming in. But now I've replenished that, what I've borrowed back from it. So now we're gaining interest on $7.75 million. The host fees, $403,374.10 will be coming to us for the tipping fees. The water and sewer host fees will be $185,665.02. We're waiting for those checks to come in the mail. I've been notified they're on the way. SPOS loss and T-SPOS allocations will be at the end of the month. Your second page is your SPOS and T-SPOS commitments. SPOS has a available balance of $528,894.54. T-SPOS is still holding at the same $9,356.47. So the allocation will be up to 100-something thousand T-SPOS. Your third page of that, and this go into the department head as well. I've reviewed the agreement through Turkey Run. Q2 tonnage was 122,000. Q3 tonnage was 126,000, a difference of 4,000 tons. Water and sewer got an increase about $6,000. Since I asked for the contract, we got $94,833 more dollars than Q2, with only a $4,000 difference in tonnage.
So do we need to go back further?
I think that's the reason why it increased that significantly over 4,000, and makes me want to dig a little deeper into it. Because behind it, you have the agreement that was in place in 2018 that is a 30-year agreement, and it lists out the rates per ton, how much each city gets, how much they can go up percentage-wise per year. There's a lot of information in there, and it just, when I saw that number and it was almost $100,000 over a quarter with a 4,000 tonnage, has me wanting to dig deeper on the finance side to make sure that we're getting what we're owed, the cities are getting what they owe, and water and sewer authority are getting what they are owed. Because on this one, every city gets a percentage per ton. And it just shocks me that 4,000, little 4,000 difference, we get almost $100,000 when I ask for the contract.
Now you know why I've been asking every month since I came.
Yes, sir, I do.
Can we get an audit? Can we get an audit?
And I apologize for it taking so long, but when you ask for these
Oh, no
things,
problem.
they try to drag it out, and they buried me with 70-something pages worth of contracts, and this is the only contract in place with some Georgia laws. It's a 66-page contract with these fees, and the contract behind it, it's a 30-year contract with all kinds of stipulations in it. I need to send it to legal for review, but from a financial aspect, I want to dig a little deeper into it.
Thank you.
Because that is if we got that much more, I don't know why water and sewer and the other cities are not getting a significant increase as well. And to me, that is worrisome over from the county perspective with other municipalities.
Job well done.
And that's all I have for finance, unless the board has any questions about anything. And the interest, I think, is still holding at 5%, even though the feds have reduced it. I think we're still going to see a good return on our investments. And the money is held there until we absolutely need to bring it out.
Okay. Any other questions? Move right on to department heads. Any department heads need to speak tonight? Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll go on into, oh, I'm sorry, you want to speak?
No, no,
Oh,
no, I'm next after you get through.
what's that?
She's got the public.
Oh, you're just waiting. Oh, okay, I thought maybe you would get to speak as department head. I didn't want
Yeah,
to
she was coming.
interrupt you. All right, under minutes, number one there is minutes, October 7th, 2024, regular meeting at 6:00 PM. Are there any changes that had to be done to the minutes?
No, sir, not on these minutes.
All right. Do I have a motion to
So moved.
adopt it? Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Those opposed? The reason, there's a couple of things that need to be addressed and looked into, other minutes, and we can adopt them at the next meeting, can't we?
Believe so, but
Yeah,
Or tell me, go
the
ahead.
minutes are verbatim as what was done at the last meeting, but
I mean,
legal
you're,
can
you're,
advise.
you're voting whether or not, what happened at the last meeting, not the substance, but if they're not voted on, then you don't have an official record of your minutes, so you do need to vote on what you will approve as your minutes at, as soon as possible. But yes, you can do it at the next meeting. I mean, right now, y'all have basically not voted to accept your minutes, so you don't have minutes for that date.
All right. Let's just move on with somebody, just go ahead and make a motion. That didn't pass, I need a motion to adopt the minutes, and we'll just get this behind us.
So moved.
Second?
What are we voting on, the 7th?
No,
14th?
The same
we'll
one.
go back to the same one.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor? Those opposed?
Rose, did you vote for it?
I did. I
Okay.
seconded.
So that passed.
So,
The other
and I'm
minutes?
assuming, did you vote for it? Or
No.
you?
October what, 14th?
No, the 7th.
No, I didn't look on it.
Okay.
I
So,
got it as
did
opposed.
you? All right.
The number two minutes of October 14th, 2024, special call meeting, 6:00 PM. Is there any changes, any amendments need to be done to those minutes?
No, sir.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
You got a second?
Thank.
I don't even know if I was here.
All in favor?
That was a special call meeting.
That's right. We're gonna go right into public hearing, case number P24016, request from Adam Hand for .25, a quarter of an acre of parcel 054-005 for the use of a family cemetery.
Good afternoon,
I
evening.
need a motion to go into this public hearing.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor? Go ahead, thank you.
I'm sorry. Get up here. This is, Adam Han has come before the planning board asking for approval to have a quarter of an acre zone for use of a family cemetery on his property. This went before the planning commission back in September, and he was unable to make it to the board of commissioners meeting last month, so it got deferred to this month. Staff recommendation and the planning board recommendations is for approval of this family cemetery of a quarter acre. Mr. Han is here tonight.
How y'all doing?
Glad to see you.
I don't know, do I need to say anything or what I need to do? Or-
Well, just state your name and address for the
My
record.
name's Adam Han. I live at 674 Wilbur Keith Road, Hogansville, Georgia, 30230. And like I said, I've been there, had that land for about 32 years. And I just figured that's where I'd want to stay.
Sounds good.
Well, you're about 33 years old, right?
43.
I'm just kidding.
All right. Well, thank you for being here tonight. We just couldn't handle the last meeting because I don't think you
Yeah, I
had to
didn't-
be here or something.
Yeah, I didn't know I was supposed to be here.
That's all right. It's just rules, so.
All right.
Well, thanks for coming tonight.
All right, thank y'all.
I'm glad you're doing that.
Don't leave yet, Adam.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
We're still here.
I gotta go out.
Before you make a motion to come out of public hearing, you
So moved.
announce for anybody in opposition first. You have to give an opportunity for anybody who's opposed, so.
Is there anybody here tonight that's opposing him having a cemetery at his house? Is there anybody here that's for it, that'd like to support it? All right. All right. Do I have a motion to go out of public hearing?
So moved.
Second, all in favor? We're now out of that public hearing. Board got any discussion, you can make a motion.
I'll make a motion, it is my district, so to approve the family cemetery and
Second.
All in favor?
Thank
Mr.
y'all.
Ham.
Y'all have a good one.
You too.
Yes, sir. Appointments, appointment to DFAC District 1 to fill a 5-year term that will expire on June 30th, 2029. That is my district. I still don't have anybody at this time, but it had to be on the agenda, so I'll just make a motion to continue this to another meeting.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Thank you. Appointment to Two Rivers Resource Conservation and Development Council to fill an unexpired term that will end on December 31st, 2024.
I'll make a motion to table it, nobody has anybody.
Yeah, this is the Two Rivers. Mr. Bill Cawthorn is coming off of that, and I know Commissioner Collins is the commissioner on the board for the Two Rivers RC&D, so we just need another member, like an at-large member.
It expires in a month and a half.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it, y'all.
All right. I make a motion to appoint John Horton.
I'll second.
All in favor? Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Thank you, John.
Add that to another hat.
That's how you do
He
it.
don't stay at home enough now.
It's just for 6 weeks.
Unfinished business, update on the courthouse engineering services.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, in front of you, you have the action paper. At October 7th meeting, Commissioner Thurgood asked us to reach out to ACCG for recommendations on engineering services. We reached out to Bill Tomey, who was on vacation that week. He came back with Butts County, which is in Jackson, Georgia, and Lowndes County, which is in Valdosta. We have reached out to Butts County. They gave us their contractor they had, who was Garbett Construction. I was also talking to Mr. Brewer, and he said they have a GMC firm is doing their engineering, and they highly recommend them. They are pleased with their work. Lowndes County, we cannot get back in touch with them. I mean, due to the hurricane, I'm assuming that's why, because it's Valdosta, the east side of Georgia, is just still recovering from that position. He said Butts County did recommend GMC Engineering Service out of Atlanta, and they're pleased with their work. Staff recommends reaching out to either EMC or in Columbus or GMC in Atlanta to go ahead and get the courthouse assessed, see what it would cost us for the engineering phase, so we can stop kicking the can down the road and finally get someone in there to do this, and we can do it under professional services without putting in another RFP out and waiting 30 more days. I think this can's been kicked down the road long enough, and we need to see results, and we need to get someone in here as soon as possible.
I think we need to reach out to both.
And if the board would like, I can reach out to EMC from Columbus and GMC. GMC has already sent a rep up one time before out of Mobile or Auburn, Alabama. So they have looked at the courthouse already. EMC has not, but we can definitely get a price, and we definitely need to get it assessed as soon as possible.
Definitely need to get something going. We keep talking about the courthouse.
And I'm with you at that. I do not want to kick the can down the road, so if it,
Well, I make a motion to allow staff to reach out to EMC and GMC for quotes.
I got a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
thank you, Commissioners. We'll get right on that tomorrow.
Update on fire station lease, Town of Lone Oak.
On Friday, October 18th, Matthew Brown and I went to Town of Lone Oak and spoke to Town of Lone Oak about lease agreements. We discussed this in executive session. I'll leave that right there, but that's the update on the lease
Okay.
for the fire station.
Update on the road patching.
Yes, sir. I've sent a email to Andrew Trammell about the roads at Mount Carmel Road at the cross drain, King Road at the cross drain, Flat Shoal Road at the cross drain, and Rocky Mountain Road at the intersection of Lutherville Road. As of Friday, I have not heard back from Andrew. I've emailed him. I've not heard back from him. I've tried to call him. I'm going to keep trying to call him to get quotes on these roads. Staff wants to see how this does on a small patch before we go a larger scale to make sure what we're getting is worth the taxpayers' dollars. We don't want to do a big project and not be satisfied with the results. That's why Bill Cawthorn has identified these small roads so we can go and get the patching job done. I'm just waiting for Andrew to give me a quote, and I'll send it out to the board for confirmation as soon as I get those numbers.
Any other questions on unfinished business? We'll move right on into new business. Number one is going to be the dedication to custodian election.
Good evening. How are y'all today? Some of you may not be aware that the Clerk of Superior Court is legislatively charged with keeping the election sealed materials once elections are certified. I don't have anywhere to keep them. I have spoke with Patty, I've spoke with Allison, trying to figure out the best way to handle this. Patty has agreed that she will take on that duty. Code section 21-2500 allows me to designate somebody with the county commissioner's approval, because y'all are ultimately also, I can designate you all, but then you can agree with me to let Patty do it. So that's what I'm here asking, if I can get my words out. But there is a proposed agreement in here. Patty signed it earlier, just saying that she's willing to take on that responsibility. They're still under seal once the elections are certified, so you still can't have access to them without court order. They'll still have to come before the grand jury before they can be destroyed, and she and I have worked out that we're going to work together, that I'll still present those to the grand jury and then give her the presentments when those are approved to be destroyed. But actually just asking for y'all's permission to let Patty house her own election materials.
Any discussion? We need to do that in a motion?
I make the motion to allow this and also to allow the chair to sign.
Now, this motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. And if you'll sign that, I'll get that ran through my minutes also, and get Patty a copy so we'll know it's.
I've got the original.
Now, don't go put them on the
One out here,
sidewalk.
though, right?
No, we won't put them on the sidewall that leaks. No. No, you can give them to me tomorrow. That's fine.
Oh, sign that. Okay,
Yeah,
thank
that's
you.
fine.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you for your
Is that
time. I
okay?
appreciate y'all.
No, thank you.
If y'all will excuse me for the evening, I appreciate it.
All right, number two, amend the minutes from the September 24th, 2024 regular meeting, 6:00 PM under public hearing, case P24-018. Minutes should read October 22nd, 2024 at 6:00 PM instead of November the 4th, 2024 at 6:00 PM.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, I was uploading the minutes online and noticed the discretion when I was putting them online. Commissioner Threadgill actually made a motion to defer that decision to October the 22nd. When I typed in the minutes, I was getting ready for the next meeting too, and so I put the wrong date. It should read October 22nd, 2024, instead of November 4th, 2024.
Thanks for that.
On page
explanation.
9, which is actually page 48 in the packet,
47.
47.
Do I have a motion to
So moved.
approve that?
Second.
All in favor? Thank you.
You abstaining, you weren't here.
I wasn't here.
Okay.
All right, deferred decision on case P24018 from October 22nd, 2024, 6 o'clock PM meeting to November 4th, 2024, 6 o'clock PM meeting.
Mr. Chairman, Board of Commissioners, this case was originally heard on September 24th. The board closed the public hearing, but deferred the decision until October 22nd. At the next meeting they changed the date to December, the further decision until November 4th. While the board has already voted to change this date in their decision, legal has advised staff to put this back on the agenda so that the constituents that were here during that meeting that were expecting a deferred decision could be here for that meeting, so they would know, and legal can explain more about it.
Right, so your ordinances say that when you're deferring a decision on one of these type of matters, that you have to name a date and time certain. Since y'all named that date and time certain as tonight, that serves as further notice, so that you don't have to renotice anything, et cetera. So we need to have it on the agenda today if you're going to further defer it to this November 4th meeting. Deferring it at a meeting in which it was not supposed to, or it was not brought back up, or not originally brought back up, doesn't do the deal. So
But I
you
thought that we originally said the 22nd, but then we shortly changed it to the
You changed it
4th.
at the last
You
meeting.
changed it at the next meeting,
Okay.
but that was not the 22nd.
Well,
You had
obviously, no.
noticed, right?
Because all that property out there, they went out, all that property's getting rezoned because it never was done properly.
Right.
And that had to be heard by planning commission yesterday. And we have to have a 5-day period, so that's why we couldn't continue with yours tonight, your motion, because of the plan. Okay.
I think it was good. Nobody's here.
But the only reason it needs to be done is because y'all had it originally from the date of the public hearing set for tonight. And so if you're going to defer it to a November date, then it needs to be deferred tonight to that November date as well, and be consistent with what you already did at the earlier October meeting.
We got you.
Do I have a motion to defer it to November 4th?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. The confirmation of ACCG Irma Safety Discount Verification Form 2024-2025 Property and Liability.
Mr. Chairman and Board of Commissioners, this is the confirmation of the email that was sent out just for our ARMA discount. We get 10% or so. It was roughly about a $60,000 discount. It's just confirmation that the board received the email for the chair to sign, and everything was submitted to IRMA, and we're on track to get our safety discount.
Do I have a motion? Or is that,
We do need to.
We did.
yeah, we do need a motion, yeah, because do I have a motion for the confirmation of the ACCG?
So moved. And second.
Second.
Allow the chair
All
to
in
sign.
favor?
Allow the chair to
Chair to
sign.
sign.
Thank you. Approval for change order Bates Mechanical Incorporated Jail Plumbing Project.
Commissioners, you have in front of you from Bill Cawthorn that Bates Mechanical has requested a change order for $29,988, and this will be paid out of SPOS. They missed a water chase in cell 1 and cell 2, Bates Mechanical and Bill Cawthorn during their walkthrough visit, and this is just a change order to add that to the scope of work.
So they missed $30,000.
Correct, sir. They missed two items that needed to be addressed in the scope, and Bates and staff missed it when they initially did the scope of work.
I can see 3,000, but I don't see how you missed 30,000 in plumbing.
And staff recommends approval with money coming out of SPOS.
So moved.
No, motion second.
Second.
All in favor? Approve the IGA with the city of Woodbury for the collection of taxes.
Yes, sir, Commissioners. In front of you have the IGA for the city of Woodbury is requesting that Meriwether County Tax Commissioner be able to collect taxes on behalf of the city of Woodbury. The city of Woodbury tax will be collected and dispersed by the city to the city of Woodbury from the Meriwether County Tax Commissioner. Staff recommends approval of this IGA between the city of Woodbury and Meriwether County for the collection of taxes. Legal has reviewed and okayed the IGA.
No motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Consideration of Thanksgiving lunch for employees on November the 21st, 2024.
Yes, sir, Commissioners. Staff recommends having an employee Thanksgiving lunch on November 21st, 2024, or any day the week before Thanksgiving. Those dates will be November 18th to the 22nd of 2024. This is a budget item on the employee benefits and human resource budget. And we propose probably like we did last year, 11 o'clock to 1, 2 o'clock. Staff will come in, socialize. I think last year was a very good event. My first year with it, and I think that was the first time they've done it since COVID. And all the employees seem like they're really excited about having it again if the board wishes to do so.
Do we need a motion on that? Okay, we have a motion for Thanksgiving lunch for the employees.
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
The November 21st good with the board?
21st is fine.
Thank you.
November 21st. Yeah. Consideration approval for Patrick training for Public Works.
Yes, sir. Chairman, Commissioners, this is a continuation of the information that I provided last month. This is training and material for Public Works to get the patching machine working. This includes having the chemical company folks come down from Texas, use chemicals to clean the machine. We would purchase, I believe, 4 totes of product to be tested and used, and then they would basically train us and show us how to use the patching machine. They would include the training and include the trip down here at no cost if we bought their material. The material is on page 66, and you can see that, we've got 1,100 gallons of BAM, which is their emulsion, basically, that goes into the patcher. That's 1,100 gallons at about $11.29 a gallon. We've also got a couple of totes of dust decks, which we'll talk about in a minute. But the total cost of the material, including the freight, is $18,000. Now, that is a good amount, a decent amount, but it will include a week's worth of training. We will have 4 totes of this stuff to practice with and to try it out with. And they said during the training, they'll use maybe 1.5 totes. So we will have some material left over after this training is done for us to go out and fill potholes or identify places that we could use it.
Why do we have to, the dust decks, that doesn't have anything to do with the patcher or the material, correct?
No, sir, it doesn't.
So do we have to purchase that?
We don't, no, sir, we don't have to, but my next part is going to be to talk about testing out the dust decks. If we go and do this in a couple of months, right about the time we're running out of the first order of dust decks, we would hopefully be ready to use this. So we can take this off and knock off $4,500, but you know, hopefully we're going to need some more of it anyway.
I know they're offering the free classes if we buy their product.
Yes, sir.
Is that product available elsewhere, and what kind of price range?
Well, it says here Lakeland, Lake City, Georgia.
Has anybody compared to where if it's cheaper over here?
No, sir.
We're really paying for the class, but it's more expensive over here? Or?
No, sir, not yet. What we did is this is one of the local distributors that we work with. We were talking to him. We told him about our problems with the patcher and the tank, and he says, "Well, I know somebody that has a chemical that can clean it out and can help you with it." We can go back and look at the emulsion or the material, but it's really to get the training and to get the patching machine up and operating.
So we don't know what the prices are?
Correct. No, sir, we don't.
I've been talking about that for 2 years. Getting that patcher, was sitting down there in the barn, hadn't been used.
Well, don't we need to know what kind of price difference we'd be paying for this company and another company before we sit there and make a decision?
We haven't discussed any other companies coming down here, but I can certainly look at other material providers and ask around and inquire about the training.
Mr. Chairman, you are correct. Our purchasing policy does recommend that we get 3 quotes for this, and I only see 1 quote here, so we do need to go out and get 2 more quotes to compare.
Well, I wasn't even thinking on that line, thanks for pointing that out.
But that's only if you do an
Well, I wish
RFP,
that,
right?
If it's over $10,000,
Right.
I believe our purchasing order says you have to get 3 comparable quotes from reputable vendors.
Yeah, and if I had
Through an
known our
RFP,
interim
though.
administrator would
kinda
have
like
asked for
we can
3
do an
quotes, I
RFP.
would have gotten 3 quotes. That's the first
Well,
time this has
not
come
necessarily
up.
3 quotes, but like the patching stuff, that time they came in, they bid on it by the yard, then they came in and bid on it by the ton. It was different. I have no idea what this product sells for, but you're saying
Sure.
$11 and something
Yes.
a gallon.
Yes, sir.
But what if somewhere else it's $8.95 or $9 a gallon? So
Right.
it's not so great of a deal that we're getting free training. Or I'm just asking to,
Yes, sir.
my own opinion, I like to see some numbers. but
Like Commissioner Thurgood said, we can put an RFP out for it.
Well, I was thinking I thought you could get a quote without an RFP, but if you do an RFP, it has to be 3 quotes. Am I right, Michael?
no, I think, and I'd have to go back and look at y'all's purchasing, but I believe there's a threshold that you can
There
just
is.
do 1 quote. There's a
5,000.
second threshold that you can do 3 quotes, and then if it's anything, I think it's
And I think it's something
$100,000,
pertaining
but you
to
have do an
training
RFP.
too, yeah. So I think he's in the right of what he did, is what I'm
No, I wasn't
saying.
questioning that, but I think we need another quote at $18,000 just to make sure. I don't think,
Well, it won't be 18 if you don't get the dust decks.
My
well, we
question
hadn't
is,
decided if we're gonna start putting down dust, coal, rock dust down in the county yet. That's a lot of roads.
That's the next item up, sir, and I've got some information on that as well for you.
But isn't that what the dust X is for? We discussed
Yes, sir.
before about
Yes, sir.
when we're not getting no rain and the gravel driveway, the gravel roads are so dusty.
So that is one of the benefits of it. It does keep down the road dust, but what it also does is it helps harden the surface, and with enough treatments, it will make it it'll make it more of a solid surface and keep all the fine aggregate into the mix.
Boy, I'd have to see that. That's a miracle with these folks out here with side by sides and 4-wheelers on that gravel road. I don't know how you're gonna hold it.
Right.
Pack it down.
I have a question now.
Yes, ma'am.
Since this is all related back to the patching equipment, that the equipment's been sitting in a barn, obviously without being used, how many people are out there that actually can work on patching equipment?
We have a handful of employees. I think it would take a 3-man
No,
crew.
But I'm saying not the people working the machine, but how many repair shops work on patching machines that you can get? I mean, obviously you found one vendor that you got this information from, but is this something unique? I'm asking if the patching machine itself is unique, or is this the product unique?
So it's the product that's unique. Because the patching machine has sat for a little while, they have a cleaner and degreaser that will go in and clean out all of the spray nozzles and where the emulsion is pushed out from. So it's their chemical that makes it easier to clean, and their experience with the machine and in cleaning it that brought them to us. So it's really a combination of both. It is a specific product that they have, and also specific knowledge.
And diesel fuel.
And diesel fuel.
That's what it said, put 3 gallons of diesel fuel, 5 gallons in there, 7 days before they come. They help break it down. But I don't think it's a matter of them working on it. I think it's just they're gonna clean it correctly.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
they're
sir.
probably familiar with it. I mean, and there's probably, like Rosa said, there's probably not many people that work on it.
I'm just wondering if it's a specialized piece of equipment that you've got that number of vendors who actually can do the repairs needed.
I'm not sure. That's a question I haven't asked.
It's not that old though. I remember when we bought that piece of equipment, so we should still be able to get through the manufacturer mechanics that work on those.
Yeah, it's not, what, about
I believe
10 years old?
I don't think it's that old.
I feel like we bought that in 2017.
Yeah.
When I
Yeah.
came on.
Well, it tells us what it is.
It's a 70 total patcher 7,500, and it's been built by
7,500.
Duraco. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to point out
Need to get it.
our ordinances in section 2-82, section E states, any purchase of material, supplies, equipment, or services with estimated cost between $5,001 and $24,999.99 should be based upon written competitive quotes from at least 3 reputable vendors if available. And like Commissioner Plant stated, if this is the only vendor that can service this, that would be the one quote that we would be able to do. But
we don't know.
we do need to check and see if something needs to do that. I just want to make sure we follow our purchasing guidelines. Being in the finance director role as well, that we stick to our ordinances.
And I'm sorry, Commissioner, if I had known that we needed the other 3, I would have done some work to have them ready for you.
Somebody want to make a motion that we just table it till we find out some additional costs?
I make a motion to table until we get additional information as to the, if there's others that can do the repairs needed.
I'll second.
Got a motion second, all in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you.
The second item is the purchase. Commissioner Worsley had asked for information about the purchase of the dust decks. In talking with them, one tote is enough for half of a mile at an 18-foot road base. So I put in a request. The request before you tonight is to order 2 totes of the dust decks, which will test 1 mile, 5280 in linear feet. What we are proposing is to find, say, perhaps a 1/4 mile section that's a little bit farther. The directions say 3 applications over the course of a year will harden the road surface to where you don't lose very little of the gravel. So what Public Works and I were thinking is we find a 1/4 mile stretch and then we apply it 3 times over 3 months, once a month, and then see how it does. And if it thickens up the top and gives us a solid layer to travel on, then we can go out and look at doing, other roads or finding some specific links that we could go out and do. But if we order a mile's worth, we will have time to test it over the next handful of months so that we can see how it works in the real
What's the cost for a
world.
mile's worth? Huh?
So a mile, 4,500.
That's
4,500.
That's
Yes,
pretty
sir.
one time, right?
That is for 1 mile, 1 time. Yes, sir.
And how many miles of gravel roads we have?
240. This is only one solution of many. I'm not saying that this will be all of the answers, but this is a potential answer. When paving a road is $1 million, spending $4,500 to test something out is.
Now, let me ask you this, if it covers 1 mile, and we're going to do a 1/4 of a mile to check it, once this is, this is my ignorance, but once it's opened or used, can it be set to go 3 months, so that we can use it, because it said 3 applications per year?
Yes,
So
sir.
that 1 mile worth of 4,500 can be used on that 1/4 of a mile, the 3 recommended times for that, okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's why I was thinking if we got 2 totes to give us 1 full mile, we could test 1 section the 3 times that it calls for. Now, of course, I don't know that we want to wait a whole year for all 3 applications, but if we just do it 4 weeks, 6 weeks apart, that ought to it'll give us some information.
Well, my thing is you better have that road just like you want it before you put that stuff.
Yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely.
There's no going back and, because it seems like if you go back and scrape the road, you mess it up.
It's gone. That's what I was just fixing to ask. is
Right.
How do
This is to
we,
get the road.
how do we do that and then go motor grade the road? You're still gonna get a pothole
Spray
too.
it down,
Sure,
wait 3 months, spray it again, wait 3 months, spray it again, and it's supposed
You'll
to
never
sort
get
of
that
like seal it. That's the way I read it when I read it back.
Yeah, and I think you're just supposed to scarify just the very top of it. I thought I had the Dust X pamphlet in the packet.
Is it $2,250 per tote, or is it $4,500 per tote?
4,500 for 2 of them.
Okay.
45 for 2 of them, so it's like 22.
Okay.
Or 22 and change.
It's 45.32.
Yes, sir.
I think what brought this up is we've started putting a lot of gravel on a lot of roads
Yes, sir.
that have not had gravel. And
Yes,
people start calling about the dust.
Yes, sir.
But with this kind of cost, I would think we would wait to start worrying about the dust solution after we get the rest of the roads gravel.
So, quite honestly,
Dust is from the crushing room.
I know that. But you're gonna spend that kind of money to put dust on a road that's got gravel, then you got citizens that are still on the dirt road.
But we do need to determine if it's effective and if it works properly. And I kind of agree. I'm kind of curious to see if it really does work in the manner that it's supposed to.
Any other counties that reached out to y'all that we could see how that worked for them?
I have talked with a couple of different companies, but I don't remember if this company is the one that has worked with Bleckley County.
No, I'm talking about counties that they did, they sold a product to that you could reach
I
out to.
can find
and
out,
see
yes,
if they
sir.
go, it's fabulous, or
Okay,
they're
yes,
like,
sir.
yeah, it didn't last very long. I don't know.
Okay, I can find that out. Yes, sir. I can get some references.
Mr. Chairman, due to the complex of this, staff will recommend tabling this till we can find more answers and bring back to the board.
Well, I think you was on, oh, that was on the other part, you made that motion table. Yeah, do I have a motion to table this till we have further discussion or have some stuff brought to us?
So moved.
Got a motion, got a second? All in favor? Thank you. Number 10, consideration of purchase of an additional boom mat for Public Works.
Yes, sir. This is to follow up, and this is the follow-up of the information that was requested following our last meeting. We also had an additional quote that was called. I got a phone call following the last meeting about an additional quote, or about an additional vendor that wanted to provide a quote. We have 3 of them now in front of you. We have a Hyundai HX85A. The specifics are broken down in front of you, but that total is $135,775.81. With the refreshed quotes that we got, Hyundai put in some additional rebates and discounts that dropped the price down to $135 from the previous discussion.
About $30,000, didn't it?
Sir, yes, sir. But if you
$30,000.
yes, sir. But if you look, they also took off all the extra stuff that we were getting with the full order.
We want the boom mat.
Right. The second one is a John Deere tractor with a Tiger Bush Hog for $163, and then the newest quote is a John Deere 85P mini excavator with a mulcher. That total is $141,577.63.
So we need the mulcher and the boom axe together? Do we need a mulcher and a boom axe together?
Me personally, the mulchers, you can get a mulcher on the John Deere. It has a boom axe, but it will you can add a mulcher to it instead of a boom axe. But the John Deere and the Hyundai are both mini excavators.
Okay.
So they run on the rubber tracks.
Gotcha.
And the John Deere is like a tractor.
Okay.
So my thoughts, and I've talked to several like Steve Harper that cuts trees, you know what I'm talking about, out of Harper Tree Service.
Yeah.
And he says that we'd be better off with the John Deere because it's more mobile, it's going down the road faster. You know, like some sites you get to, you got to cut the brush and then you go to where the power line's down the side of the road where there's no brush to cut. You got to go a mile or 2 to get some more brush to cut. But I just feel like that the tractor's more mobile. I mean, we already got one boom axe, but it's a 2-wheel drive, Massey Ferguson. This is a 4-wheel drive John Deere. I think it'll be a little bit more versatile than
The other reason, Mr. Brian, Barry was suggesting, and I see it on my jobs all the time, the mulcher's so much better because when you hit it with a boom axe and leave all that mess, now the crew's got to come clean it up.
Right.
But if you drop it down and mulch it, the bush hog mows over top of it and it decomposes back into the ground, and we're saving labor and time. So if it doesn't, if that one, John Deere's better with a mulcher.
Well, I mean, it's got a boom axe, is what's on it, but you can't.
But you can't add a mulcher to it.
But I don't know what the price would be.
I don't know, but Barry was saying he wanted a mulcher, so I didn't know, are these the ones that he picked out, discussed, or?
Yes, sir. So the reason that Public Works is recommending the mulcher over the boom axe is in addition to what you said, Chairman, there's also the vibrations and just the pure size of the boom axe coming out, and with it extending out and with all that vibration, there's a lot of wear and tear on those parts. And that's part of the reason we have had the boom axe down is they keep having to replace either the gears or the deck or something in the.
So what's the price of putting a mulcher on it instead of a boom axe? We have a boom match, and a mulcher would be a.
We have
a
one.
plus, I know, we
Yes,
got
sir.
one.
Yes, sir.
Well, the
Mhm.
mulcher can do what the boom match can do too.
Yes, sir, but
It reaches up there and just grinds that tree right on up down.
Yes, sir.
Instead of chopping it off.
Yeah, but I can tell you from experience, the mulching head has like 100 carbide tips on the mower.
Yeah.
And when somebody's running that thing, they wanna get out there on the ground and mulch it, they're gonna be hitting rocks, they're gonna be knocking teeth off of it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a whole lot more expensive to maintain that mulching head than it will be the bush off, the bush. My main concern is to get the brush
Yeah,
from encroaching the road.
we got a bunch of it right now.
Once you cut it off, it might look bad on the road for a year, but after that, it starts to deteriorate.
With a common denominator question here, Mr. John, do we have the money for it?
Yes, sir, the T-Splosh allocation would come in at the end of the month and it would cover, we have the funds for it. I know it would cover the one that Public Works' recommendation is, the 135, 775, 81. It also probably would be right around 141 with the T-Splosh allocation. The 163 would be on the outer range of our T-Splosh allocation.
Mr. Collins, you like the John Deere, you
I
think?
make a motion about a John Deere 6110M tractor with a Tiger boom axe.
I ain't got a motion, do I have a second?
So moved.
Which one was, that one for clarification on the dollar amount?
it's the one in the middle, it's
The
the
163?
163. And just to be clear though, Commissioner, Public Works, they prefer the Mini X's, and they have demoed it, and they think that the Mini X would work better than the tractor would in this use case.
I just think it's gonna be too slow and it's gonna be having all.
I've got a motion, I got a second.
Oh, all right.
Well, I wasn't in here to hear that. I withdraw my second.
Okay, okay.
So you do, just for point of order, you have a motion, you have the second, you can vote on it. If you vote it down, then someone else can bring a new motion.
But I can withdraw my second before we vote on it too.
No.
Yes, I can.
I think we'd have to just let it fail and start over.
I can withdraw my second.
That ain't what they taught me, but that's fine with me.
You don't think so, Mike?
I think it's cleaner just to go ahead and vote on the motion with the second, and then if it fails, then someone can bring in a new motion.
All right, I got a motion and I got a second. All in favor?
I withdrew my second.
It takes 3 votes, even with
His motion, then he has to vote after his motion. I mean, after a second.
he doesn't have to vote in favor of it. He can move as a second and not vote in favor of it.
Okay, all right. Okay.
I just like to go with the recommendation of what they actually are comfortable with.
Well,
It's nothing against anything except if that's what they want and comfortable.
But if you'll listen on what he said down there,
Well, I did.
a Mini X, I don't know if you ever ran one or not, but it's very small and it just crawls.
I know.
It's very small, it's an 85, it's a big one, but it goes down the highway at 6 miles an hour.
Gene, I just wear scrubs. I'm not stupid.
I
Yeah.
never claimed that, sir.
So yes, I think that we do need to go with what they are comfortable with down there because obviously there's a reason they want that.
That's one reason I thought Mr. Barry was gonna be here tonight to express.
Yes, sir. I
Was
asked
that
him to stick
recommended by
around.
Barry?
Yes, sir. We actually had that demo unit down to demo September 16th through 20th. So they actually got a chance to run it and see
How long is this price good for?
hold on, I've got it right here. November 16th.
So we've got time.
Correct.
And then the other's November 30th.
And I did talk to Mr. Lucas, and he did
October.
recommend this one as well before.
Which one?
The 130, the HX85A high flow. The one that Blue is mentioning.
Who was
I did talk to Barry, and he did recommend this one, and he cannot stick around due to other obligations.
But we will have to on the Mini X, like the tractor one, if they were going down this road and then they got to just go about a mile and a half so up the road, they can drive that tractor there, correct? But that mini X, they're gonna have to load it up on the trailer and take it to that next
Yeah,
job.
they gonna have to trailer it everywhere.
That's right. They can't drive it like you do with all our other big equipment.
Right.
That's the
Yes,
only
sir.
concern. And if they're both gonna have boom axes on it, if it'd be different if we're talking mulcher and boom ax, but they're both gonna have a boom ax on it.
No, this one is gonna have a mulcher on it. We're gonna have a mulcher on the Hyundai, the 135.
Well, the John
It has a
Deere,
mulcher.
they both got mulchers, right?
No, sir, the John Deere has, the 6110 has a bush hog.
No,
has
but the John Deere 85P.
Yes, sir, that has a mulcher on it, yes, sir.
Well, I'll tell you what, I want to make a motion to table this until our first meeting in November, 6 p.m. Is that okay?
Oh, that'd be great.
All right, let's table.
I got a motion to table it. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Thank you.
I will get Mr. Lucas here for that meeting.
And just for my lack of understanding and all, with Public Works, there's some comments here that are made that the operator easy to use.
Yes, ma'am.
To see out of and use, and driver faces the direction that
yes,
they're
ma'am.
cutting. I guess, for me, we just need to make sure that if those are the kind of things that are important to the operator, make sure they bring that forth.
Yes,
at the
ma'am.
next meeting or whatever.
Yes, ma'am.
Or, I mean, they may have other reasons that, but that kind of stuck out to me.
Yes, ma'am.
That they have
That was some of the
preference.
feedback, that was some of the feedback that we got, because when you're doing the 6110, you're driving the tractor forward, but you're having to look over to your right.
Yeah, but the seat.
And do the
6110, the seat tilts just like this. Turning sideways.
Yes, sir.
Because I got one.
Yes, sir.
So the seat does not, you don't always sit straight forward. You turn the seat.
But if you're driving forward, don't you have
You can't
to?
turn it completely sideways,
Right.
but you turn it a little
Right.
bit.
Listen, I don't want
And
this
the
to
boom ax
offend
is right.
anybody, but I do think that we're not gonna be driving this machine. People in Public Works are gonna be driving this machine, so let's get Barry to come before
Yes,
the
sir.
call.
All right, thank
Let's do
you.
that, and we made a motion to table it, so let's move right on to number 11, budget amendment for the fiscal year 2024 to receive grant money from the general fund and SPOS.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. The next few items are budget amendments that are required by law for the annual audit that will be coming up for FY '24. These amendments are to receipt the grant money in the general fund and the SPOS fund. And I'll go through each one of them that are listed here so we have it on the record. To amend the FY 2024 general fund for receipt of animal shelter donation for a national foundation of $30,000. To amend the FY 2024 general fund for receipt of the LWCC grant for $28,170. To amend the FY 2024 general fund receipt for the receipt of the 2024 court clerk tech grant in the amount of $2,460. Amend the FY '24 general fund for the receipt of the EMS equipment grant of $7,930.69. To amend the FY '24 general fund for receipts of the fireworks grant of $21,736. And to amend the FY '24 SPOS fund for receipt of the FEMA reimbursement of $94,545.45. Also, these will include the amendments for the expenditures as these grants have been spent, so we have a balanced budget. And this is just to be in compliance with DOAA.
Michael, can we combine all those together?
All of these are under you're under number 11,
Yes.
right? Yeah. So I
Okay.
mean, he was just itemizing them for your
All right.
benefit,
Instead of having just
education.
one
Right.
in the past.
He's got one action item on here. Yeah.
Do I have a motion?
So move.
Do I have a second?
Okay.
All in favor? Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Number 12, budget amendments for fiscal year 2024 excess expenditures over appropriations for the general fund departments, legal compliance, DOAA.
Yes, sir, Commissioners, your third page is the compliance letter that I had to send into DOA stating that any budget that has exceeded the appropriations need to be put back into balance. So these are the budgets, accounts that finance has identified prior to making any audit entries that we need to allocate funds to bring it back into balance in accordance with DOA law. And they are to amend the FY '24 general fund for receipt of donations of private and non-budgeted for $21,736. to amend the FY '24 general fund to reclass airport authority debt to transfer out to airport authority for $55,536.12. And then these are to amend the FY '24 general fund following departments to balance the departmental budget with an offsetting revenue. Elections, $80,000, finance, $10,000, buildings and grounds, $25,000, the DA office, $561.93, juvenile court, $16,000, public defender, $7,500, public safety, $115,000, sheriff, $90,000, the jail, $10,000, state forestry, $24,332, and building and zoning for $170,000, which brings the total expenditures to $548,393.93. In order to balance the budget revenues, we would budget the revenues for the LGIP, for the general fund, for the salary study increases for $48,393.93. We do have an excess revenue brought into that, so we're just moving the budget allocation for that part. The $500,000 would be budgeted to real property current. We have an excess of $700,000, so we're just amending that budget to bring in to about 8.5 million instead of the 8.02 million that's in the budget. And that just keeps us in compliance with DOAA regulations that I was hit with a finding on last year.
I make a motion.
I got a motion? Well, second.
Second.
All in favor? Number 13, budget amendment for the fiscal year 2024 to amend the budget for the opioid fund.
Yes, sir, Commissioners. We got two more budget amendments and we're done.
Oh, Jesus.
This is the budget amendment for the opioid fund. This is also a corrective action that was brought to my attention by the DOAA that we were not in compliance. This is to establish the budget for the opioid fund with revenue of $97,275.98 for FY '24, and to have offset expenditures for supplies for $97,275.98. There were no revenue or expenditures budgeted, and by law, we are required to have a budget in place for this fund.
You said they stated we were non-compliant.
Correct. We did not have a budget last year, and it was the first year we were told that we had to create a fund for the opioid grant, and we still got hit with a non-compliance. I wondered the same question because it was the rule just came out, and how you hit us with a non-compliance when the rule was just established.
I'm gonna sit here and hold my thought.
But the correction action letter behind that is to the DOA stating we will be in compliance and make sure we have a balanced budget, and the balanced budget for the opioid fund was established in FY '25.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Number 14, budget amendment fiscal year 2024-2025 for the IDA allocations from $120,000 to $300,000.
Commissioners, on October 7th, the Board of Commissioners voted to increase the IDA allocation from $120,000 to $300,000 for the FY '24-25 budget. We will need to amend to allocate these funds to the IDA. Staff proposes decrease the general government contingencies from $289,322 to $109,322. This is a reserve for unforeseen expenditures over a department budget that has not been touched in several years, and increase the IDA allocation from $120,000 to $300,000.
Have a motion?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
And that is all the budget amendments until we start making audit entries. We may have to bring another one back.
Thank you.
Just trying to get in compliance with DOAA.
Number 15, the last one there, Hidden Meadows subdivision bond.
Commissioners, last topic for tonight, in the supporting documentation, staff has reviewed the road in Hidden Meadows subdivision and recommends a 5-year maintenance bond. The amount of the bond is $350,649.51. The board would have to determine if a 3-year maintenance bond or a 5-year maintenance bond is required. Once the number of years is set and the bond is received, the board would need to accept the bond in a public meeting. The county will inspect the road and have the developer make any repairs. And if the developer fails to make these repairs, the county will use the bond to make these repairs.
Mr. Cawthorn called me, we talked about this. I know the developer, I don't know who the builder is that he's selling it to, they're closing, but that builder is going in there to build all 14 lots out ASAP, so you'll be getting busy.
I am busy.
What's that?
Already am.
Well, you get busier. But anyhow, with that being said, by the time they build out all 14 lots right there, with all the concrete trucks, all the delivery trucks and so forth, we will know within 3 years if that road is not gonna hold up or not. So, my personal opinion, I don't see why we need to the customary is a 3-year bond. I don't know why we put a 5-year bond on that individual, when you will know within 3 years if there's gonna be, the road has to be repaired under the bond.
What
Yes,
do we
sir,
have
Mr. Chairman.
now?
Typically, it's a 3-year bond through the county, but the staff is recommending a 5-year. Bill Cawthorn and Theron are both recommending a 5-year. And
Man,
Cassandra can
it
speak
just
to
makes
the
more
others.
sense to do 5 because we just don't know.
Okay, the reason that this one is in question is because they have not built the road to county standards.
Right.
And so Mr. Cawthorn and Mr. Gay had wanted to go with the 5-year bond before final plat approval because they're afraid that the road may not hold up the 3 years as normal
Right.
because of the way that they built the road.
Right.
That's the only
Right.
reason he
I mean, I just think it protects the
suggested 5.
citizens better though.
And the only reason I'm stating that is because when Bill and I talked, he said that, but then he said, but if they do plan to go in there and build out pretty quick, we're gonna know. But anyhow,
Yeah, I mean, I think if recommendation is 5 years and they're gonna build these out just to protect the citizens more, I think the 5-year bond is a better way to go, in my opinion.
any other discussion?
What's the difference between the 3 and the 5-year bond?
2 years.
It just to determine the
So you
condition of the
understand this
road.
here, well, so you understand this here too, the difference is, that man that's selling that property, he has to hold that bond for 2 more years tied up, when if that road's gonna be destroyed, it's gonna destroy in 3 years build out. So, and
But if it wasn't built to standard, no, why wouldn't you protect the citizens?
well, it's not, well, it's kinda hard to say what built to standards, because Piedmont does all of our roads, the same one that did that road.
But they found the proof roll
Huh?
They failed the proof roll.
several times.
Right. They failed the proof rolls and they dug it out, and then when they went back and did it, built it, and if somebody didn't get out there to inspect it, it's what.
They didn't let them know that it was ready for inspection. So
And
they
I'll
didn't.
say this, in the 12 years I've been here, it has been roads, but there's been a lot of other things too where people have to put bonds in, and the bond time frame runs out, and then there's an issue. So I guess I've learned a lesson over the 12 years that extending it longer is probably the better route to go.
We probably should change our ordinances and go along.
Yeah. So are we voting on this tonight, or is this just a discussion?
Well, the reason this is on the agenda is because it does need to be voted on, because we cannot finalize the plat for them to sell the lots and start building until you guys approve the bond for the road.
And then once we receive the bond, it will come back to the commissioners to approve the bond, the receipt of the bond. But we just need to know if it's a 3-year or 5-year to let the developer know.
I make a motion for a 5-year bond.
You make a
I
motion.
make a motion for a
You
5-year.
got a motion down here for a 5-year bond.
I second that. That's based on staff recommendations, right?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
All in favor? There you go.
Thank you, commissioners.
Report to the county administrator.
Yes, sir. It's been a busy 2 weeks since being
You're
appointed.
talking there.
I'll make this one short and sweet. It's been a busy 2 weeks. I've attended the airport authority meeting, the Lake Meriwether advisory meeting, planning and zoning meeting, tax assessor board meeting. Interviewed candidates for the administrator assistant and hired an individual. They will start next Monday. That is mainly to assist me and the county clerk and deputy clerk and make sure we stay on top of everything and get answers to the board. Interviewed an individual for Parks and Recreation Director, waiting on their response to the offer. We're researching outstanding items, and as progress is made, sending them out to the board for review. We met with the mayor of the town of Lonoke to discuss the fire station lease. Have a scheduled meeting with Rob Hill from the State Properties Commission to review Woodbury Highway building this Thursday morning. If 2 commissioners would like to join us, it's at 10:45. We'll be meeting at Woodbury Highway to make sure it meets defects as standard. I've asked Rob to come down and view it before we put any money in it to see if it will be viable for defects before we move forward. So he's agreed to come down with his staff. I scheduled a meeting with ACR for this Thursday afternoon regarding the jail roof, waiting to hear back from Duke's Electrical that did electrical work so we can figure out what's causing the leak and who's responsible. Spoken to Butts County, Georgia, Butts County, Jackson County Deputy County Manager about their engineering. We spoke about that. We have received the insurance check for the fire truck in the amount of $347,397. Chief Stevens will be bringing a recommendation at the next meeting, I believe, on a fire truck he wishes to purchase. The ACCG Irma Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder PTSD program. That is, so we can get a quote on that. Allison uploaded that file today. We met with Chris Ryan from the LGRMS about our safety discount and property and liability insurance. Met with the Versa at McCoy Airport about moving the utilities for the entrance road. They look like they'll be starting that entrance road process here shortly. We have scheduled CPR and AED training for most of the employees within the county buildings. I think they had a good turnout. A lot of employees are now certified in CPR and how to use the AEDs. We are scheduling more classes in November for those that cannot make it. I reviewed the contract from Turkey Run as we stated and found the additional $100,000 that we were given this quarter. We are now with a new EMS billing company, EMS MC. We have terminated our contract with Elevos. We're setting up meetings with the city mayors in the upcoming weeks to try to build that rapport with the cities. We'll be working on the RFPs, and I probably have several ready for the board to consider on the November 4th meeting. And just continue to monitor finance. Payroll has been paid today, employees paid on time, bills are being paid, finance is monitoring, is functioning well while I'm in this interim role. There's been no hiccups on the finance side or in this position, as I can tell so far. It's just a busy role, and it
Sounds like it.
keeps me busy all day long from 8:30 till 5:30, 6 o'clock, and keep going. That's all I have.
All right, Chairman, Commissioners, wanted to give you guys an update. Last Saturday, we had Keep Merriweather Beautiful. We had the cleanup day for that was postponed following the hurricane. We had a great turnout. We are getting all the rest of the reports from all the teams. Inside each of your packets up there, you've got pictures, updates on the event. We've got thank you to the containers companies and then those that donated the sites. There will be an awards meeting, a celebration on October the 31st at 10 a.m. Everybody is invited to attend. And like I said, you have a packet on it in front of you. Over the last couple of weeks, or really the last couple of months, we have been doing the T-Splosh presentations. We have done 10 of those to date. We probably have at least 2 more. We are going to offer a town hall here at the Chambers on Thursday at, are we at 6 or 6:30? 6:30?
6:30.
I think 6:30.
I think it was 6:30.
So, I'm sorry? Okay. We will have the T-Splosh Town Hall for the unincorporated county residents. We've been mainly going out to the cities, talking to their city councils, talking to civic groups. Well, we wanted to have an event that would be held here for the unincorporated county residents. So we are going to be putting it out on, I guess, on Facebook, and the newspaper should have something on Thursday about it, just to give our T-Splosh presentation to our county people. Public Works, I have done some work on some numbers. They have done an incredible job in 2024. From January 1st of 23 to to October 15th, they had 1,976 service requests. In 2024, from January 1st to October 15th, they have had 2,456. That is almost 500 more Public Works requests in the same amount year over year. Some of that is the hurricane. Some of that is the gravel that we've been putting out on the roads. But our Public Works people have been working very efficiently and very hard. They have done over 500 more requests than they have the previous year. So just want to say kudos to them. That's great work for it. On the grant front, we have a couple of grants coming up. Water and Sewer Authority has asked that I help them with a regional water plan seed grant to do a 30-year water plan for Meriwether County and the cities. It's a project that we did in Pike County about 3 years ago, and it will be a very beneficial document. And what the study is going to do is we're going to bring all the cities together with the Water and Sewer Authority, with an engineer, and they're going to talk about what shape their water system is in, what improvements need to be made. The engineer is going to go back and say, okay, this is things that I see that you need to do. It's everything from a GIS map of your system to a rate study to make sure that you've got the right money going charged to the customers to pay for the service that's coming out. That one is due October 31st. I've got it about 25-30% done. I feel like I can hit that target date. And in mid-January, the FY24 raise grant will be due. That is the big grant that I applied for last year, asking for $10 million to pave roads, replace culverts. We did really well in that application. The application ended up being highly recommended. It did go to the Secretary of Transportation's desk. We didn't get the grant, unfortunately, but they gave us some information and some tips to provide a better application, speak to the data, provide specific project locations, just minor things that we can use to come back and fix the application and make it even more competitive. I really think that this is something, and we can all talk in the coming weeks. This is a grant that will greatly benefit the county if we can get it. Last thing is I mentioned the regional water plan. The Upper Flint Regional Water Council will have a meeting on November 14th, I believe. And that is the Regional Water Planning Council that signs off on the seed grant. So I'm offering that. Chairman Murphy is aware of it. He will be attending, but I wanted to make you guys aware of it as well if any of y'all wanted to attend. And it is in Reynolds, Georgia, I believe, but I can confirm that for you guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Report from county commissioners. Mr. Dawes?
I just want to thank staff and all employees. That's it.
Ms. Rose?
I was going to mention Keep Meriwether Beautiful, but thank you for the report and the awards. That was enough that be recognized October 31st, so 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. But that's it.
We have an election coming up soon. Everybody remember to get out and vote, and that's all I have.
Thanks for everybody for what they've been doing, appreciate it, and got a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Got a second?
Second.
All in favor? We adjourn at 8:26.